I look at this whole place as my community, right? Anywhere I go, you know?
Yes.
And I try to just connect in any way because planet Earth is sort of my neighborhood.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have the block I grew up on.
I love that connection, the concept. Wherever you go, that is your neighborhood.
Right? And
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So welcome to the big neighborhood again.
Well, I'm
you know what I
glad
mean?
to be here in the big neighborhood.
I
I actually put it on my camera. I actually put on my calendar, my Google Calendar. Was it September 13th? Is that still on?
For Lauren's thing?
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, I just got an email today
Okay.
about it.
Yes, I've already put it on my Google.
Has she reached out as well, or just from our conversation?
Just from your conversation. Okay. I don't have the details, everything, but I just saved the date.
It's a lot to put together, and we're going to help her with what we can help with. And I know that she has someone else that she just talked to that's going to help. It's a lot to really put together a fundraiser is to do it right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little moving pieces, you know. Just you can't just ask people to walk in and throw money around, right? There's got to be something they do.
Yeah, it was really cool in Laguna. I liked it.
It was fun.
Yeah.
This is going to be at a friend of ours' house.
Oh, okay.
Lifelong friend. Like I said, I've known Lauren since I was 14.
Wow.
So, 44 years soon. And there's a group of us that have still just kind of kept in contact.
And that's a rarity to find, to still be in contact and still friends and connected after 44 years. That's just,
Michael,
most
my
people
partner,
go their own ways, and you never
and
hear from them again.
Life gets messy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, without trying to exaggerate, for me, there's 25 people that I'm still in contact with pretty regularly from high school. All different sort of compartments, right?
Yeah.
Like my buddy I still played a little golf with at one point. You know, my brother-in-law and I were best friends when we were in like 7th grade. And then he ended up marrying my sister at one point. But he and I still play pickleball together. You know what I mean? So I have these different relationships with people. So people I make music with. My partner in Big Neighborhood, we've been friends since we were freshmen in high school, I think, or sophomores or something like that.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, it's really cool. My kids don't understand it at all.
Well, I wish I had that experience. But I don't have that experience.
Where did you grow up?
Well, because of my social, economic, and the family I came from, my mom was in these chaotic relationships, so I don't have like a one stable family home, that I come from. I started off in Miami, Florida, till I was 11 and a half years old. Then my mom moved us to Mississippi, and I was there until 16, and then I moved to Oceanside, California. So in terms
So you start high school in Mississippi and then finish it in Oceanside?
Yes.
That's hard.
Yeah, so in terms of like friendships, like from childhood friendships, I don't have that experience.
It's going to sound like after what I just said that I don't understand, but I do. Like growing up the way we grew up, it was nomadic, right? We're constantly moving. My parents didn't have a lot of money. We didn't own a house for a long time, kind of thing. So I did from basically birth to 12 years old or so in Oregon, and then I moved to California, in Irvine for some reason. My parents landed there, but I went to I think it's 3 middle schools in 7th grade. So we moved around a lot. I was telling someone the other day that this is the first time in my life that I've lived in the same house for this long.
Wow.
I've lived in 2 houses now for 25 years.
See?
I've never had that before.
I don't know that experience.
See, I didn't have it as a kid, and I'm uncomfortable with it at times now, right? I'm used to moving. I'm used to packing everything up and leaving, right? Somebody asked me about the podcast, about the traveling around and why, is it hard? I forgot what the question was. But I thought about it for a minute. I was like, I'm kind of nomadic anyway. So when I'm in my motorhome traveling around, it feels normal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and Oregon feels like home for me. I don't know why. I haven't lived there since I was 12. But that's the last time my family was together as a unit.
Right.
So maybe that's why it feels like home.
Yes.
Still. So yeah, for me, I like to be moving.
Yeah, I don't know the family. I don't know what it feels like to have a family unit.
I don't know what it feels like to have, like, I know I have my own family unit now. My
Yes.
2 kids and my wife and I, but I don't have an extended big family unit. I don't know exactly what that is either. We don't have like holiday traditions. As kids, we didn't have birthday parties. You know, I was throwing birthday parties for my kids going, what are they doing?
Right.
It's like a waste of money and time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So part of me doesn't understand a lot of it either. And I think part of it's probably why I do this. I look at this whole place as my community, right? Anywhere I go, you know?
Yes.
And I try to just connect in any way because planet Earth is sort of my neighborhood.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have the block I grew up on.
I love that connection, the concept. Wherever you go, that is your neighborhood. You
right?
know?
And yeah, me too, because I think it's the problem a lot of times, right? Is we're just so disconnected from each other and nobody understands each other's reality because we don't do this shit anymore.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's all here. And we know what it's like to not have that connection, right?
Right.
To actually have to get on your bike or walk or skate or whatever we did to go see somebody.
Right.
Or have to be home when the phone rang.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have an answering machine. I remember that time, right?
Right.
And then the answering machine showed up. I was like, oh, okay.
No such thing as FaceTiming. If you want to connect with someone, you have to get up and go to where they are.
And have FaceTime.
Or they come where you are.
Right.
But to like have a phone to FaceTime, you know, this is why I believe we're so disconnected and everybody go in their little corners because we don't have that human interaction.
Right.
Know?
It's important.
Yeah, and it's what we're missing.
Because when you take that interaction away, there goes the empathy, there goes the compassion.
Yes.
There goes the caring about each other, right?
Yes.
Vaughn and I were just talking. He's a young kid, right? He's 26 now. He makes music with my son.
Oh, cool.
But we were talking about the idea that, like, this is a every man for himself society, and it's getting worse all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a real complicated part of that. And again, for my own mental health, it's why I do this, right? If I just sat at home and just knew this stuff, it just weighs on me. So the fact that I can go out and meet people like you guys and find out these cool organizations, just connect with people again, has been really good for my mental health. Because I have anxiety, depression issues, and, you know, I don't. You and I are very different. There's some similarities here, right?
Right.
And if we don't have this conversation, you don't know.
Right.
And I don't know, really. But, I don't know, I don't know my dad, really. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying you don't either, but I heard you talk about your mom. That's why I said it.
I don't know my dad. I don't know what he looks like.
I know what my dad looks like, but I don't know him as a man.
I just know his name was, because he's no longer here. His name was Dennis Abrams. That's all I know about him.
That's crazy.
I just know that my mom, it was a one-night situation.
Oh, really?
In Miami, Florida. She met him at the bus stop, and I guess they connected, and
it's crazy.
She got pregnant.
It's crazy.
But that's all I know about him.
See, I know more about my dad, and the only reason I said that to you was because you were making reference to your mom being in relationships, right? And and again, the point was that as human beings, we probably have a little more connective tissue together than people think. No matter where you grew up or what you did, there's some similar trauma's trauma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you end up in Oceanside.
Yes. So
you go from Mississippi to the beach.
So I ended up. My mom left her second husband because the first husband was killed in a car accident when I was I think I was 4 years old, and that's my sister and my oldest brother father. I never met my father, so she ended up getting married again, and from that marriage there's one son that was born as Percy, my baby brother, and she left she had to leave Miami, Florida because he threatened her life with a gun. But that's the relationship I actually observed my mom begging for her life when he was going to, hit her with those chairs back in the day. They're not the chairs they make today. Like they're like heavier.
Oh.
And she was begging for him not to hit her with the chair, and I was sitting on the couch, paralyzed and couldn't say anything, and watching my mom beg for her life.
You think it influenced the way you had relationships later?
Yes.
Because I mean, I know your case, right? And
yes.
And I don't mean to state the obvious,
yes.
or even have to. We both understand. We probably don't have to really talk about it, but you know what I mean. Like, how old were you then? At the four, that's like.
I was 9 years old when I observed my mom, begging for her life, and when she was sleeping, she was woken up with him standing over her with the gun, threatening to kill her. And at that moment, she realized that she needed to leave.
Right.
So she put in a safety plan to leave when he was gone from work, because he was a truck driver. So when he left to go to work, she gathered our things, and me being the oldest in the household, I had to be responsible for my sister and my two brothers, to make sure that he didn't observe us. So when she was working, because she did housekeeping, so the place of refuge that we went to was this lady, the church that my mom was going to. She allowed us to stay there, and whenever we hear a truck go by, I would tell my siblings, okay, you guys, we got to duck down, because we couldn't just be up and walking around normal like normal kids would. So we had to duck down. And then when my mom was she'd get off from work and she'd go to the grocery store and shop, I would say, okay, we need to cower down,
It just becomes normalized.
Yeah,
that's
so
what you do.
So we couldn't just be up, walking around, when she was in the store. Obviously I'm old enough to watch us, because I was almost 12 years old. And I'm like, hey, you guys are stuck down in the car. There's a truck coming by. There's a wheeler coming by. We can't, we don't know if it's him, because he was looking for her. And
it's such a reality for people, right? And as a kid, it becomes normalized, right? You learn how to survive.
Yeah.
That's
why I say I know that I'm a survivor, and I know that that's why I'm here today, because of what I saw my mom went through. It just, I think instinctively for me, there was just certain things when I look back at my situation, I did certain things because I knew that it would keep me alive.
Right. Into adulthood. You know what I mean? I think once you have to be in it, my sister always talks about how my brother and sister and I were always in survival mode, right? Just always, every day. You know what I mean? But my dad was abusive. My mom was. It's just weird shit. When I look back at it, I go, they did their best. And I kind of excuse it all, because what can I do?
Right.
Am I getting mad about it? It's over. It's done. I survived.
Right.
But we were constantly in survival mode. So I can imagine that moment there. You're constantly in survival mode.
Yeah.
And that's a tough place to exist later.
Yes.
Right? Because in the moment, it's just normalized.
Yes.
It's just what you do every day.
And it just and I realized that it just became a part of my character, which, one of my character defects was to try to fix and rescue, because where did I learn how to fix and rescue? I learned from
on the job training.
My mom,
right.
keeping us alive.
Right.
And so I only been in 2 serious relationships, long-term relationships. In each relationship, I try to make it work and try to fix and rescue, do everything in my power.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time doing that, huh?
Yes.
When you look back at it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not, and this doesn't make it better, but you're not the only one, right?
Right.
This trauma sets in different for people, and that's a really common, especially socioeconomically, that's a very common story women tell, right? Yeah. I'm sure my mom tells that story a bit.
Yes.
So you go to Oceanside. Did you finish high school in Oceanside?
Yes.
At El Camino?
Yes. No. It was Ocean Shores because then I'm a mom. I was a teenage mom.
Gotcha.
So,
At 16?
Yes.
So was my mom.
Oh, okay.
My sister.
Yes. So I lived in, so from Vicksburg, I got pregnant and my mom wanted me to leave my daughter, my oldest daughter, with her. She said, well, Joyce wants you to come and live with her while her husband's on duty because he was in Taiwan.
Military?
Yes.
From Pendleton there?
Yes. And, no, he went to Okinawa. So my sister, I went to go live with my sister. So after I had my baby, my mom said, well, I'm going to keep the baby. I go, no, Mom, because that would have been me repeating the same cycle because my mom had my oldest sister, Joyce, and my grandma raised her. And my mom said, well, I'll keep Jada and you go to Oceanside and finish school. I go, no, I'm going to take Jada with me.
Jada was already born when you left?
Yeah. I said, I'm going to take Jada with me. So
that must have been hard.
That's how I moved from Mississippi to Oceanside.
And did you live in Oceanside from that point on?
Yeah, so I lived in Oceanside, and I grew up in like a really strict church, and of course my sister was still in a strict church. So I started going to the church and continue with what I know, and I met my ex-husband there at that, the same church.
Gotcha. Because you have 3 kids, right?
I have 3 kids.
Is that where the other 2?
2 from him.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not far from Oceanside.
Oh, you're not?
I live in Fallbrook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's close.
Yeah, it's really close. I like that area. I asked about El Camino because I was the high school basketball coach in Fallbrook, and we would play down there, Oceanside and El Camino.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, so Ocean Shores was a continuation school for moms. You know, you can bring your kids with you and stuff.
That's
while
amazing.
you finish school.
What year is that?
1978.
So you graduated in 78?
Yes.
So you're not that much older than me. But we talked about this last time. You look amazing. I'm going to say it again. I'm bummed. Look at me. I look like I'm getting old. You don't. So we go to Oceanside. You get married?
Yeah, I get married there, and then he got transferred to El Toro.
Oh, he was also military?
Yeah, Marine Corps. Then then we ended up in San Diego. And then from San Diego, he got transferred to Quantico, Virginia, to be a drill instructor to train potential officers. So that's how all of my kids and grandkids, we all ended up in Virginia. And they were young, and they're still there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So wait.
So I'm the only one who's not living in Virginia.
Your kids?
My kids and my grandkids are still all in Virginia.
Is there a reason you don't go?
I go and visit them for the Christmas holidays.
But then you don't live.
But I can't be around my ex-husband.
I got you. Totally makes sense. That must be hard, though. Have your kids over there and everything. I mean, they're older, though, right?
Yeah, all 3 of my kids are adults, and the challenge for me was the fact that when my crime happened, my oldest grandchild, she was 2 years old at the time. So while I was incarcerated, I had 2 more grandkids to be born. So I didn't get to meet them until I paroled.
Gotcha. So let's just do that. You guys get divorced at one point?
Yes.
And you come back from Virginia here, or you never went?
So from Virginia, because he was stalking me, there's that survival mode. I'm trying to save my life. I had an opportunity to be the fitness director for Bally Total Fitness.
Yeah.
And I moved to Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And I was there for 4 years. And it got just to be so cold for me, I couldn't take it no more.
So cold.
Because it's like
so cold.
In July, I had to literally wear my leather coat because it was so cold. The summers is really non-existent. And so I ended up moving back to San Diego County. So I moved to La Mesa.
Mm-hmm.
And my boyfriend moved with me. And I was really trying to break away from him because I had been going through the abuses, and I thought this would be a great break for me. But, he threatened me and say, you think you're going to get ahead, off of my back, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going anywhere. I'll kill you with my bare hand.
Jesus Christ.
So he ended up moving back to California with me, and so he got involved with bodybuilding, started taking steroids. So I went through those bouts, of the unannounced angers,
The fits of rage and just crap that comes with that.
Yeah.
So are you still working at Bally's at the time?
When I moved back to California, I wasn't working at Bally's anymore. So I just was I forgot the gym that I was working at, but I was doing a little bit of personal training, and I was working more like an independent contractor as a fitness trainer and a fitness instructor. Because by then I kind of like had built my clientele and just the fact my professionalism in what I did and did well. So gyms and stuff would call me and say, "Hey, we would like for you to do a master class once a month." So they would pay me pretty good.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I would be on the calendar, like different gyms, doing master classes and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Now, when you leave, so you go to Virginia, and then to Chicago,
and then
right?
Back to California.
And real quick, I was in Chicago last December.
Yeah. Cold.
Stupid. Like, there's no point to that. It is bone-chilling cold.
Yeah.
Like, when you're kind of downtown, we were kind of stayed, I forgot this hotel called the Roby, but a little boutique place. But when we went downtown, as you come around buildings and the wind's going through there, it was bone-chilling. There's just nothing about me that wants to live in that environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is too comfortable.
Yes. Your fingers feel like they're going to fall off when you're trying to put your gas in the car.
Right.
Yeah.
People love it. I like the city, but I can't deal with that weather. Right off the lake there? No way. It's too cold for me. It's too cold. Come back to California. And you met him in Chicago?
No, I met him in Virginia.
Okay, gotcha. So you went to Chicago.
He moved with me from Virginia to Chicago.
I gotcha.
And so things had started become progressively worse with us. And I was trying to get out of the relationship, but, he kept threatening my life, like, I'm not going anywhere, you're not going to make me leave. And so I went through a whole period of that.
Weren't you guys together like 8 years or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When my crime happened, it happened November the 20th, and it was just like a few weeks before 8 years being together.
We talked so much last time, and I remember when I left, and even when I was talking to my wife, I told you this, and we'll get further into this, but the work you must have done is impressive while you were in there, because you're such a ray of sunshine, right? Like, when I see you and you smile and everything, I'm like, wow, I would be mad, and on different levels, right? There's just, and then we were talking about it, and she said, well, she's lived through a lot of hard things in her life, and I said, yeah, and I said, but there's certain things you don't forget, right? And you said the date a minute ago, and you were like November 20, and like that's got to be something that gets forever. You just got to deal with that day shows up, and that's that day.
Yes.
And so the work you've done, I applaud, because it's apparent. You seem warm, and you don't seem cold, and you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
And I applaud that, and I'm happy for you that you could find some peace in that, because that's crazy. It's crazy.
It took a lot of work to get to heal from the trauma, actually, of what I went through, but also heal from the trauma of what I did do. My crime traumatized my family, his family. It traumatized me, and I had to really do a lot of work to heal from it, where I didn't live in shame. And I truly believe that I am free today because I no longer live in shame.
Right.
Because I understand why I did what I did. I have insight into why I did what I did. I know that it would never happen again. And I have forgiven myself. It took some years to get to that place where...
Because you got to go through all the F him, to get to the place where you have to acknowledge that it was then to get to the forgiveness, right? There's a whole thing that has to happen there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, I don't. Again, safe word, throw something in the air, something if you don't want to talk about something, right? But 8 years, November 20th, you said?
Yes.
That's the date, right?
2006.
2006. Prior to that,
and I was 45 years old.
Oh, so unfair. So prior to that, are there calls to the police? Are they showing up? Is there a record of what's been going on?
There was a call.
Or are you just trying to do it on your own?
There was a call in Chicago, and they came and checked to do a welfare check on me. And they said, well, a neighbor called, and he was standing behind me like threatening me that I better not say anything.
Right.
And because he told me, you better not tell on me, and you better not get a restraining order, because I will find you and kill you with my bare hands after restraining order is over. So, you're making a big deal of what I do, and it's no big deal. I don't break your nose. Because maybe being a personal trainer, he's not going to disfigure my face and have bruises all over me.
Right.
He would choke me and spit on me.
I was going to say, there's a ton of shit that's done that doesn't have to be.
Yeah. It's like one of the most degrading things that any human being can do, to choke and spit on someone. But that's the form of abuses that I went through, push me down, knock me down on the floor, and tell me to stand up and smile, that I'm not going to go to the gym, with a sad face, poor Geri, where people are looking at me like I'm treating you like a dog. So I learned to look like I'm okay on the outside, but deep down inside I'm crying.
Terry, that's what survivors do, right?
Yeah, and that's what happened is when my crime happened. No one can believe that I committed my crime, because number one, I'm thriving in my business, and I actually trained one of my clients the day before my crime, and so she was shocked when they came to interview her. She goes, I just had a training session with my trainer Geri, and that was one of the best personal training sessions ever, because at the time I was going to massage therapy school, so I started incorporating massage therapy with my personal training sessions. So it just caught everybody by surprise.
You talked a minute ago about how it affects everybody different, right?
Yeah.
It even affected them in a way, right? There's so many people that get affected by these things.
Yes.
And once you start unpeeling that onion, it expands out.
Yes.
There's a lot of pain, a lot of trauma that goes with this.
And even till today, I had to come to a place of acceptance of the consequences of my crime and how it affects others, and I have to, have compassion and understanding that this is how they deal with it. To this day, I've only seen my oldest sister and my oldest brother, but I have not seen my baby brother and my middle sister yet, and they all live in California, Southern California.
Because of the issue they have with the whole thing?
Yes. Because of the issue of my crime.
Does it come from a faith-based thing? It
because
does,
I'm the only one of my mom's kids that went to prison, committed the kind of crime that I committed. I'm the only sibling.
What was the charge? What was the actual charge?
They charged me with first-degree murder, but I got convicted of second-degree murder.
They charged you with first because you went out and bought a gun? Was it a gun? I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was a gun.
Okay. Is that how you get first degree out of that?
No, it's just when the DA when there's a victim, the first charge is always first degree murder, and it's usually through working with the DAs. You can get a plea deal, but the family didn't want me to have a plea deal, so they never offered me a plea deal. So I had to go through the whole process.
The whole trial process.
And I believe the jury wanted to probably convict me of manslaughter, because I've always felt that it should have been manslaughter. Manslaughter is 11 years. But I think that because of his family and just the the fact that I have the look like I could have left. Why did you not leave? You know, because I have this professional look. I just think that the jury really had a hard time, and they just split the baby and convicted me of second-degree murder.
It's interesting how, and I don't know that I've ever done this or not, so I'm not playing innocent here, but it's interesting how people are going to give you the strength, the courage, the power to make a decision in a situation you're in that clearly you couldn't make, right? Or whatever, because of upbringing, whatever it is. You're in that relationship and everything. They're like, oh, you could have just left. Well, that's easy to say.
Right.
Right? But I don't know that people have that in them to do that. You know what I mean? Like women.
Most women, a lot of women don't have that in them because of belief systems, fear. There's a whole host of reasons. Children, investments.
I was going to say there's financial reasons.
Financial. It can be a whole host of reasons. And a lot of women, that's why today my heart really goes out when I read in my news feed a lot of these women are being killed and, the murder suicides. And when I read their stories, I read that they were trying to leave. They don't make it. And some that do leave, the guy goes and finds them.
Right.
And still take them out.
Have you done any work after, this is jumping ahead a little bit, but with women? Victims of like this kind of domestic abuse and that kind of thing. Can you get involved in those things?
I want to start doing a little bit more of that. So what I did was I took the California state test for domestic violence counselor. So I do have that, and I'm working on a curriculum so I can actually start.
Does your charge keep you from being able to do any of that?
No.
Okay, good. I don't know.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't know if licensing is affected by that or not.
No, I can still do all of that. Yeah.
Right.
So I working on a curriculum for for domestic violence, but I would love to become more involved with women that are struggling and they're in these relationships and they want to leave and they don't know how to leave, and help them with resources. And you have to do it in a safe way, because oftentimes when you're in these abusive relationships, you can't announce to your partner or the person that's abusing you that you're leaving.
You got to disappear.
You cannot announce it.
Right.
So you have to make plans,
My mom was the director of the Interfaith Shelter in Costa Mesa for battered women, right? And so she did that for a lot of years, and but I did learn about how, like you're saying, when you just leave, and there's shelters like this, that they did good by these women. They would come with their kids, and they would help them get on their feet again, but you would never, I couldn't tell anybody the address.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't tell anybody where it is. And they really protected these women and their kids, but they still had people showing up there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you guys are working hard to find people. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. But it seems like that would be a good place for you, just cathartically, right? To work with women that are going through this kind of thing, to maybe avoid that whole the same experience.
Yes, I'm actually trying to find organizations that I can maybe start volunteering, give these women hope that you are a survivor. You don't have to be a victim.
Right.
You can choose to survive.
Right. Is it? Yeah, I mean, so you go in what year? What's the crime? I know it was November 20th.
Yeah, so my crime happened in 2006, and my prison, my 40 years to life sentence prison started April of 2008.
At that time, I mean, there's 40 years to life.
Yeah, so when I went to prison, I was 48 years old.
And so at that moment, you're like, okay, this is it.
Yes,
this is where I'm gonna end up.
This is my life. 48 years to life. I'm gonna die here.
Do you bother getting involved in things at that moment, or is there a period of time where you're just sitting in there, just pissed off, going?
Well, there was a 3-year period where I was mourning, trying to deal with the acceptance, I'm not gonna ever get out of prison. I had a lot of anxieties. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't function. So I was under mental health care, and I had to take Celexa to function during the day.
Is that an antidepressant kind of thing?
Yeah, and then I had to take trazodone to sleep at night.
Gotcha.
So, and I went through that for 3 years. And one day my psychiatrist said, well, I need you, we're going to do a homework. And she said, I want you to, your homework is to tell me what role you played in your domestic violence relationship. And I railed over her telling me that, because I'm like, how do I have anything to do with it? And that's where the insight began, when I had to actually like really look at the whole big picture of what role that I played that led to my crime. So I had to take away what he did and look at what role did I play. And that was a real challenge. And me understanding today and really looking at the whole big picture, I had to actually revisit my childhood to like understand where did this character in me began to fix and to want to fix and rescue and stay no matter what. So I grew up in a church with a faulty belief system that you don't get a divorce. So I was married to my ex-husband, and it was a domestic violence relationship too. It wasn't physical, but it was emotional and psychological. So, but I stayed there for 20 years. But in church, you're not supposed to, you can't get a divorce. So, but that was a faulty belief system. Right. But at the time, I didn't know there was a faulty belief system. So it just, you know, when I started to like recognize and realize that I couldn't be married, you know, anymore under these conditions, I say, you know, I told my ex-husband, I can't do this anymore. So I had the strength to leave that marriage. By then, my 2 girls were grown, but my son was 14 years old. But at the same time, I still hadn't done the work and still hadn't recognized and realized the type of men I attract. I attract the men that need someone to complete them.
Right.
You know, so all of these things, when I started like working on myself, I started recognizing, why did I end up in the 2 serious relationships that I was in? Both of them were the ones that I had to like be there for them, you know, help them, you know, always, you know, fixing and rescuing. And,
right.
You know, so I became a codependent.
It's the 2 relationships you had, period. Right, right.
And those are the only 2 relationships I've had in my life.
That's what I mean, right.
Because of me understanding what healthy relationships look like, I have really self-confidence in that I can be alone but still be happy. I don't have to be in a relationship to be happy. So I choose today to not be in a relationship, and I just feel like for me, it's not for me right now. I don't know if it ever will be again.
Right.
At this point in my life, you know, because I'm older and I lead a very fulfilled life, and I don't feel like I'm missing out, but I'm always happy when I see like people that are in healthy relationships. I'm like so happy for them, and I'm not anti-relationship at all, but for me, because of what I went through, and then I lost my freedom, could have died in prison. I just have a different perspective on things in terms of what my purpose is and what works for me.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to even understand from my perspective, right? I'm not a woman, right? You know, I mean, I've been to prison and stuff like that, but I think that we have this thing where I'm just sitting here thinking about what you said before about the idea that you should have left or that you could have left. Are you still involved in the church?
No. Because
I was going to ask about the faulty belief system.
It doesn't work for me.
Do you find spirituality and other stuff, though?
But I'm very spiritual.
Right.
Look at me, I'm free today because of my spirituality.
Right.
I just truly believe that a miracle was going to happen for me when I always felt once I started my time and I started working on myself, I felt that a miracle was going to happen on my 11th year of incarceration. Remember I talked about that I truly believe I should have been convicted of manslaughter.
Right.
Well,
which was the 11-year
and in my 11th year, that's when I got commuted.
So when they commute your sentence, you get out, but you still own that, right? It's not a pardon of any kind, right?
No, it's not a pardon.
Right.
You can't even put in for a pardon until you've been out, for 10 years.
Oh.
And there's not a guarantee that you'll get it.
Have the laws changed? Because if you're defending yourself, could you not prove that you were defending yourself, or was it just bad laws at the time?
They still don't have self-defense laws.
Oh, they don't?
No, California doesn't have self-defense laws.
I didn't know that. Of any kind? Or just for women? You know what I mean?
I just know that there are a lot of women in prison today,
Right.
And
was there a lot of similar stories to yours in there?
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yes.
That's painful.
And some women have died in prison because they refuse to accept their responsibility. They go to board and say, well, he did this, he did this, he did this, and this is why I did what I did. Well, the board doesn't want to hear that, so they go in as a victim. So you have to, really truly own your crime. And the only way you own your crime is you don't have the shame anymore. A lot of women still live in shame, so when they go to the board, they constantly blaming what was done to them, but their partner is no longer here, so the partner is a victim. So women don't want to own that they were the victimizer.
Right.
That led to that person not being here anymore.
So how long did it take for you to realize that?
It took, like I say, once I did that homework the psychiatrist told me to do, I started like really, really recognizing that I was the victimizer, because he's the victim. He's not here. I'm still here.
And so that was a few years in already, right?
Yes.
Angry when you got there?
Yeah, I was like really angry and blaming the system, like it's not fair that I got, I was given this 40 years to life sentence. They, I never had a parking ticket. So I'm just going through all the blame on the system instead of blaming myself for why my crime happened, and to accept that the laws of the land says that if you commit a crime with a gun in California, your crime, whatever you're convicted of, is going to be that sentence plus an additional 25 years. So the second degree was 15 years to life, but the gun added another 25 years to life. So it's a mandatory sentence. And it took me a long time to accept that mandatory sentence, because I'm thinking to myself, well, I should have just, if they're going to convict me, why are they convicting me of the gun? Because a lot of women that I did time with, they used, it was a knife. It wasn't another 25 years for use of a knife.
Crazy. Crazy.
So the gun enhancement was because of a lot of the gang crimes happen with guns.
So it's just a statute they write in.
So it's a statute that applied to me because my crime was from a gun.
Oh,
even though I'm not in a gang.
When you said Geri Brown?
Geri Brown commuted
your sentence, right? So are you applying in to have that done?
Yes.
How does that work? Or does somebody do it on your behalf?
Oh, no. So after, at a certain point, people kept saying, Geri, you run such a really good program. You don't get in trouble. You don't have no write-ups. You should, put in for commutation. And I said, well, I'll put in for it when I really, really got it. Like, I really have done the work, I have the insight, and I know I'm ready. And I said, I'll know when that time comes. So when the 11th year came, because that November 20th came by, so that January, I said, you know what, I'm going to put in my commutation. So I put in my commutation January of 2018.
And how long did it take? 3 years?
So once I put in the commutation, I got the word from the governor December, Christmas Eve 2018.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so in 2018 of January, I put my commutation in. And it's just 4 basic questions they ask you. It's not a long process. I didn't hire an attorney. I just knew that I did the work. And I just honestly answered the question. But I had my C file to back me up on what I said. You know, I ran a really
to
good
show
program.
The work.
Yes, and I had good girl chronos. I had good chronos from, lieutenants and sergeants, and so I showed that, and captains, I showed that through my work, because I was a facilitator, teaching domestic violence classes in prison, and I was a mentor for Beyond Violence. I just showed in my working in my community, that I was making a difference. Even though this is my community now, so I was making a difference where I was. And so Jerry Brown said he couldn't deny my transformation, so therefore he was going to commute my sentence to 15 years to life. And but I had credits, the
good times.
The good time credits you get. So that's what took my sentence down even more. So you still have to go to board. So there's still 2
I was just going to ask that.
You still have 2 people you have to talk to.
So he doesn't just get to sign it.
So I'm still a lifer. So he took the 25. He took the gun. He literally.
That sentence is crazy, by the way. Sorry.
He literally took the gun enhancement off. The 25 years. He took that off. So now my sentence is 15 years to life.
And at this point, how long have you been in?
I have been in 2008. So 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2018.
So you just had to finish. Oh.
So what happened was, it's like once he commuted. So when I sent in my commutation, I don't know, his team, they go through all the applications, and they do all the investigative work to see if this inmate is worthy of a second chance.
And who knows how many of those they get?
The time that I put mine in, it was over 6,000 applicants.
And somehow yours gets yanked out?
Mine's got yanked out.
That's crazy.
And I think that year...
It must come with recommendations or something from the facilities or something like that. Like, hey, make sure you read this one.
Well, it was just like Miss Leonard, Lieutenant... was it Lieutenant? Well, I called her Miss Leonard. She was my boss. I was a Beyond Violence mentor, and Gloria was a retired warden, and she was just visiting her friend. And at the time, they had to sift through all these commutations, so Governor Geri Brown asked some of the retired wardens if they can come on board. And it just so happened, normally I would have left already to go back to my unit, but Captain Leonard had me do some extra work. And so I ended up walking back with them, as they're going, out the gate. I'm walking back, and I said, Miss Henry, as I put in my commutation, I don't know what's going on. Do you have any idea what the process is? And that's all I said to her. I didn't tell her to pluck my application. This is her first time meeting me. I didn't tell her to pluck my application or anything. And the next thing I knew, they said, I get a ducket that I'm getting an interview. And
with the board?
With the person that was going to do further investigative work.
Okay, so the second step to the...
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and the person that ended up being the one to interview me was Miss Henry, Gloria Henry.
Wow. Just the odds of that, right?
Yeah, what are the odds? Because
6,000.
Yeah, it was over 6,000
out of those 6,000,
I think out of the 6,000, I think that year they commuted like 182 people.
Holy cow.
And I was one of those people.
Right.
So it's rare that,
and it's not quick. I mean, you got to do the work.
Yes.
Like, you actually have to do that work in there. That therapist you had, what a hero, huh?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, she was a hero to have me do that homework.
Right. And because it's clear the work you've done. It's clear, Jerry. You know what I mean? I know the story from you and everything, but the way that you talk about it and the way that you deal with it and the fact that you've done the work, you know.
Right. And it was a challenge to like set full responsibility and say, you know, that I made this choice and I take full responsibility. That was really hard.
Yeah.
But, you know, in order to move forward and to really, really, truly forgive yourself, you have to, like, be transparent.
Do you just surrender at that point to believe what she's telling you? Because it would be hard to even... You have to surrender to move forward, right? But
yes.
If you really believe that what you did was something like... Somebody's got to almost convince you, like, hey, this is the better path.
It was really hard for me because, like, literally every day I'm crying. I'm having anxiety attacks. You know, we have to go to sick bay and be treated. It was like, and the minute that I started like working on it, I stopped having anxiety attacks.
It's amazing, huh?
Because I just surrendered the place of it. You know, I just accepted the fact that, yes, it was hard for me to use the word murder. It was like...
That's the first time we've used it, right?
Yeah.
Outside of the second degree...
It was really hard for me to use that word on myself.
Yeah. It's hard for me to understand it coming out of your mouth even.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I know that my worst day on that day does not define really me.
Right.
And I literally had to have compassion and forgive myself because I know that I would never, ever repeat that cycle. I would never, because if I was in unhealthy relationships today and still, you know, doing the exact same thing, then I'm not honoring the victim. I'm not honoring him. And so today I actually live my life to honor his life, that I don't repeat those cycles.
Wow.
Again.
I know you said you're not in a relationship, you're not ready, and because your life, and it's just not where you're at in your life, right? Is that part of it, though? I mean, do you think you could be?
I don't know. It hasn't hit me yet.
Right.
It literally hasn't hit me yet.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know. I may not ever be, but I'm happy. You know?
Good. And I don't think you have to be. I'm just like that psychologically, where I'm like, which one is it, chicken or the egg, right? Like, are you not in a relationship because of the way you feel about this stuff, or you're just not ready, and it's complicated.
I'm not ready. I really love my life.
Good.
You know, I have friends that have paroled, and some have gotten married, and they're in really great relationships. But it hasn't hit me.
Yeah, and you deserve to be happy, right? I mean, like, whatever that is.
Yeah.
You're entitled to that. What year did you get released?
July 29, 2020.
Oh, literally 2 days from now.
2 days from now.
5 years.
5 years.
That's crazy. Man, congratulations. That's pretty amazing.
You have 5 years.
Do you think about it all the time?
Well, right now, I want to do a really very thoughtful post for my 5 years on the 29th. So I've been really thinking of that, of how I want to do it, the approach how I want to approach it.
Yeah, that's an important one, right?
Yes.
Like there's some considerations with that.
Yes.
Do you still have a therapist? Do you still see a therapist?
No.
Did your work and you're good?
Yeah, I'm good. It's like whenever I have, you have some trying times and some things that happen. And I've just used my coping skills of what I've learned in prison and what I continue to do today. A lot of the tools that I learned in prison, it's just internalized in me and who I am today. You know, a lot of people, they do things and make little changes in prison just to get out of prison.
Right.
But for me, it was really important for me to just really, really change, transform from how I used to be. The person I used to be is like no more. It's like I'm like 180.
Did you trip out and you're like, I can't believe I was that?
Yes, when I think about it, I'm like, dang, I used to be like that.
Well, I think it happens to all of us anyway, right? Like I don't have the time behind me like but as far as or the crime that right there, but I look back at how I was sometimes like I can't believe I was that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm sure that must be hard. When that date comes around every year, do you acknowledge it?
Yes.
The 20th?
Yes. I just reflect, just think, about who I was that day, that showed up that day, and I'm just so grateful I'm not that person.
I could see both ways, right? Like not acknowledging it or acknowledging it. Like they both make sense to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's kind of a choice people make, I guess, as they have to deal with that kind of trauma.
Right.
Yeah, your ability to talk about it and just self-reflect in it is really impressive. And I'm happy for you that you're happy.
It is, and I know that I've healed and I know I've forgiven myself because it used to be a time that I couldn't talk about it. I'm just boohooing, crying the whole time. I couldn't get out a word edgewise, but I don't, have, the excessive crying anymore. I'm just, because I'm transparent and it's my truth. I'm not,
right.
I don't have anything to hide.
Well, you're not carrying that shame with it anymore, right? And I think that's a huge part of it. We have to be able to walk around and not do that.
Right.
We all, I mean, there's tons of shit out there, and sometimes I am who I am.
Right.
I'm good with it.
Because even when I went to board, they asked me questions, I just answered it. And a lot of times with board, a lot of women would go to board and they just hyperventilating and crying and just on and on and on. They get rolled over because they can see that
stability's not there, right? That vulnerability.
You're not stable emotionally. They can see all of that. So I just answered a question and they go, okay, we have no more questions. They only talked to me for like 30 minutes.
How many times did you go up?
One time. A lot of women go to board 2 and 3, 4, 5 times, and they keep them there for 4 and 5 hours. For me, they just ask me a few questions, and it's okay. We're gonna make a decision.
Who's the board made up of? Is that a dumb question?
I think they have like retired police officers, judges.
Gotcha. So people that actually have some experience in it. It's not some random board of.
Right. They've probably worked in the system before.
How many other?
They have, I don't know how many board of commissioners they have.
No, I mean, when you sat, was there 3 people or 4?
It's 2 people.
Oh, it's just 2?
Yeah. So it's
women?
One was a male, one was a female. So I had 2 commissioners, and I had, the DA showed up to, of course, object. Because he felt that he couldn't find nothing wrong with me. He goes, oh, it's just so amazing. She did such wonderful work. But the governor already commuted her sentence. But she needs more time. So he didn't have he could
no real reason behind
he really didn't have a reason. He goes, it's only been 13 years and she needs more time. And, of course they let him talk. And I just stayed quiet while he object.
You would smack him.
I just stayed quiet.
Good for you.
I stayed calm. I didn't argue. I didn't go, what do you mean? I didn't say nothing. I just listened to what he said. I just was very calm.
That would have been hard.
Because if I had said something, they would have rolled me over because they would have said, oh, she doesn't have control.
Right.
She's impulsive. She has no self-control.
So you go in front of that board, the parole board. How long after that do you find out?
Well, they go deliberate, And they only deliberated for 20 minutes, and they came back and said, we find you suitable.
Oh, you find out that day?
Yeah.
And then how long from there to actually leaving that facility?
Leave. So for me, because I went to board October 29th.
Those are big dates.
Yeah.
Those are big dates.
So I went to board October 29th, 2019. And so I had the good time credits, and then COVID happened. And they started like giving us more credit, to kind of like, like expedite some of our times that we were getting short on our time. So I went from, saying I was going to parole September of 2020. It got moved up to July 29, 2020.
Oh, okay, so 7-8 months.
Yeah. And they can take it away from you if you get in trouble. Like, people get all cocky and stuff.
Going home.
And I'm going home.
Do something stupid.
And they do something stupid and get it right up, and it can get snatched from you.
Yeah, right. What's the first thing you did for yourself when you got out?
Well, I paroled to a new way of life because you have to do 6 months transitional housing. So they took me to Walmart to get my phone and things like that because I had not been in a car for over a decade. I actually got...
Never had a cell phone?
I got motion sickness.
Oh.
So I actually got sick.
Oh, no.
So I'm thinking, like, I want to eat this food, and the food didn't stay on my stomach.
Oh, no. There's no way to liberate yourself. And then was that insane? Because you have to go to the county you committed the crime, right?
I was able to petition to the governor to allow me to parole to LA County. I didn't want to go to San Diego County, and they grant me that parole. Gotcha.
For the halfway, everything was up here?
Yep. I just wanted a new start.
Makes sense.
And the way I wrote the letter, it was actually to the commissioners. I wrote the letter, saying that I didn't want to, be paroled to San Diego County because I understand the impact that I caused the community. Right. So the way I wrote the letter, I said I do have a new way of life that's willing to house me. And so they granted me my parole in LA County.
Is it like, I'm thinking of treatment centers, right? Is it like that? Is it just a house?
Yeah, New Way of Life is transitional housing.
Okay, so you have a curfew, you have the whole bit.
Yes, I had an 8 o'clock curfew and 30-day blackout.
Do they help you find work?
Yes, they give you all they help you with resources and everything.
Was finding work hard?
It was
COVID.
Yeah, I had to do the 6 months, and then the person that was in charge of helping us find work, who was doing the employment development, she said, "Oh, I have this job at Christ Center Ministries, and they have an opening." So I applied for it, and they're friendly to people that have prior crimes. They don't hold it against you, so they hired me. So that was like my first job.
Oh, that's great. How do you end up with Give a Beat? I asked Billy the question either, do you find Give a Beat or does it find you? Because you're a parolee at the time. You weren't in the program.
Yeah, I was a parolee.
Gotcha.
I was on parole.
So you found it.
Well, I was a member of ARC, and I guess Give a Beat partner with ARC. I guess that's what happened.
Oh, I don't know.
I believe that's what it was.
Gotcha.
I just know that they say that Give a Beat, we have a flyer from Give a Beat. They have on the new track cohort coming up, and they have limited space. And if you're interested, here's your information. So I just took it from there.
Gotcha. Where was it at? Because I know, like, he goes into the facilities, like, right into the prison, right? He does the program there. Where are you doing it at? When you, at the time, when you first did Give a Beat, you're not going into a prison to do it.
No, it was a location downtown, where Give a Beat was at.
Oh, gotcha.
Where they ran the cohort.
Gotcha.
So that's where I went on Saturdays.
And never prior to that had made music?
Nope, never made music.
Love music though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we were just talking about the same thing. How long were you in that program before you went, oh crap, I got to do this?
The program was 6 weeks, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and I struggled a bit.
Oh yeah.
I'm one that needed a little bit more time, but the program didn't cost for more time.
Right.
But I showed to them that I really was serious about it, and they allowed me to have some extra hours with mentors to help me. Camille, they let her help me with production, and then Angela with the DJ.
Gotcha. So like what he was telling me, when they go in, there's 6-week programs, and there's a waiting list. Is it the same thing for a parolee? Is there a waiting list, or was it kind of accessible?
It was their first cohort.
Oh, gotcha.
During COVID, so they only had, I think the space was for 8 or 9 of us, and I'm not sure how many people applied, but they interviewed each and every one of us before they, made a decision on who was going to be chosen.
Where did you do your time at?
I started my time at Chowchilla, up north, and then I transferred to CIW.
Oh, California Institute.
Yeah.
Would you have done the program if it was in?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have done it. Yes.
You see, I always wonder, like a program like Give a Beat, like how do you think, like for people that are incarcerated, what is the benefit of a program like that? You know what I mean?
A program like Give a Beat, if I had that opportunity, would just giving us hope, something to do, help us feel like we are part of something, because we're like shut off from society.
Yeah.
And that's, it would have like given me hope, like, wow, they care that much for us to come and run a program. Then I'll be like, man, I'm part of something. So,
right.
You give you something to look forward to.
And I asked it because Billy was talking about how, there's a lot of inmates and people that are doing time that just grab any program, right? Just to stay busy.
Yeah.
And just to get their time going. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I always wonder specifically, like for me, music is huge. For Vaughn, music is huge. My son, it's just been a part of my life forever. So I could see in my brain how that works, right? But I haven't done time like that, so I don't know how going into a program that really affects people. Well,
because we have to do a lot of groups, self-help groups, that really like deals with some of our crimes. So like for me, I had to like focus on groups that dealt with anger management, communication, domestic violence, conflict resolution. So I had to do a bunch of those kind of groups, and it becomes kind of redundant. So had Give a Beat been there, it would have been something different,
right,
than me sitting in a group and have to constantly talk about different things or whatever the topic is in the group. It would just make me smile. It would just energize me.
Right.
Because
it is dehumanizing what's happening.
Even for that 6 week,
Right.
Like, wow.
It's something to look forward to, right?
Yeah.
But it's also, like you said too, like, and Billy admitted, it's dehumanizing, right? You don't have anything. You're just alone in there. So I love the idea of the program going in. I didn't know until last time I talked to you that even as a pro, you could do it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that because I didn't think it was in women's prisons, Give a Beat.
Well, I don't know what prisons they go to, but yeah. I just know had they been there when I was in the women's prison, I would have jumped at it to apply for it. I'm sure the waiting list would have been long. I would have been one of those ones on there waiting to take it.
Yeah, right. Where is WIC?
CIW is in Chino.
CIW, I'm sorry.
It's in Chino.
Oh, okay.
Chino, California.
I got you. Well, I think that I think the program's amazing. Are you DJing now? Do you get much opportunity to DJ?
I just had a 70th birthday party I DJ for. Awesome. I got some DYD gigs that are coming up. I guess they have some kickoff type programs going on. So I have one coming up August the 16th. at Belvedere Park, and then I have another one in Sylmar.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's on the same day, September 13th.
Oh, really? Oh.
The one in Sylmar.
Between you and me, since there's no one listening to this right now, I don't know if that 13th date's going to be good. It's a lot to put together.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So it might not be on the same. I hope she can. And we're going to do what we can to help, you know.
Well, whatever day, I'm going to be there.
Yeah. I figured you'd say that. Are you, is this gotten you to the place where you're just making your own music now?
Yeah, I do from time to time work on beats. What I've been doing lately is working on mixes, like continuous mixes, and then I've been uploading them to SoundCloud. So my last mix I called it Groovin' Mix. I really like it. It's like a great mix to work out to. So I've been working out to it. And I did a remix of September and another Italian house.
Now, is that something we can listen to? Or is it your sound? Is that I don't understand what SoundCloud is. I don't know what that is. Is that like iTunes or something?
Yes, SoundCloud. You just go to SoundCloud.
My son puts stuff up there all the time. I don't know how it works.
And type in at Geri Freee.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
you'll rock that on the way back.
You'll see. You'll hear my grooving mix.
Yeah.
And then my September mix, you'll hear that too.
So with September, is it hard to work around copyright stuff with songs if you're using it?
Well, I'm not using it to make any money. So
you haven't monetized it.
So I haven't monetized it or anything.
Gotcha.
But I really love this Italian house. It was this house song, and it was Italian. I love the mix, and I was listening to it. I'm like, and then I listened to the September. I'm like, I think that I could kind of like mix this and kind of do my own little twist.
Right.
And I actually liked how it turned out.
So do you play any instruments at all?
You know what? Back in the day, I used to play a trombone.
Oh, that's...
Back in the day...
You're the only person I've ever met that played the trombone. I'm not going to lie. I don't know any trombone players.
Back in the day, I used to play the piano. I think that if I were to like get, like kind of like sit back on a piano or a keyboard, I believe that it can come back to me. But I used to play the piano and the organ.
The keyboard's a great one to build beats with now because you can use it as a trigger for any instrument.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You could play, if you wanted the trombone, you could just play it on your keyboard and get the sound.
Right.
With the way technology works now.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And I heard you talk about Logic, so I'm thinking about checking out Logic.
It's a good software. That's what this one is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You use Logic, Spawn? Record music? Yeah, my son uses it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing the Logic thing.
I think it's pretty easy. I think. They're all pretty complicated as far as you go along. My son goes through it, and Vaughn might too. On a level, just moves through that software
and I got to get a MacBook though to get the Logic. So but I am leaning towards like I say because like with Ableton or Logic. Ableton, I think I might probably be more prone to like really understand Logic.
I think it's a little more user friendly.
Yeah.
Because I think Ableton is almost aligned more with like Pro Tools, which are very awesome. Ableton's awesome. I don't know when they first started doing so, because I started recording on a Porta One cassette in the 80s. You know what I mean? So we've gone through this whole progress. When they first started doing digital recording that wasn't in a machine, it was actually a computer, it was GarageBand. So every Mac came with GarageBand. So it was easy for me to go from GarageBand to Logic's because they're kind of compatible. It's almost the same kind of software, you know?
Right.
Logic's is just a really nice version of GarageBand.
Oh,
so when they first started having softwares to record, GarageBand was one of the first ones. So it was an easy transition for me.
Right.
But I know that my son uses Logic. He loves it. He makes great recordings in there.
Yeah, so I'm leaning towards the Logic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not that expensive. I think Logic's like $200 or something like that. It's not that bad, $199. But if you buy, did you buy it?
The education pack.
Gotcha. So I think that a Mac comes with GarageBand. If you can noodle in GarageBand, you can noodle in Logic. You know, and you can work in GarageBand for a while. That software's changed too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all great. But listen, I appreciate what you guys do. I appreciate what Give a Beat does. You know what I mean? And I'm really thankful you took the time to sit down and talk to me.
Oh,
you don't have to do this. You
I
don't
always
even know.
love telling my stories. So.
Yeah, it's we could do it again sometime. You know what I
Yes.
mean? I would love to follow up and continue with this, but I love Give a Beat. Lauren, like I said, I've been close with Lauren for 40 something years, and I wholeheartedly support what you guys are doing there.
Give a Beat is like they're like my second family, truly. You know, since I've been on this journey, they have been nothing but supportive.
Amazing.
You know, in my growth and everything, and they never gave up. You know, I'm telling you, you saw me 6 weeks when I was in that training. Oh, there's no hope for Geri. Y'all can just.
I should have brought that
You
up.
all should have. Y'all can chuck it up for a loss. You should have seen me. I was a hot mess.
Because of the actual software stuff, or just the idea of making music structure like theory.
It was the structure. It was the software. It was just everything. It's like I never. It was like really over my head, and I'm one that's like hands-on, and it was during COVID, and they couldn't come.
Right.
They had to stay, was it 6 feet?
Yep.
So they used this long pointing stick, and I'm like, I want them to come closer. I'm not getting this. So it was like from a distance, I'm learning.
Because music's a language, right? And
Yeah.
when you're recording in there, it's a different language. I remember when Vaughn was recording, and just the idea of when you came down the first time, just the idea of song structure and how you put things together, you know. And now you guys are doing, it's a lot of house music, right? A lot
Yes.
of like, yeah. See, I don't know much about
I love
that.
house music.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to some of your stuff because I don't know a lot about it. I don't. I mean, I've been to places where it's playing. I've been to places where it's playing, right? But I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, when we're done with this, I'll pull up SoundCloud so you can hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. We are going to be leaving Tuesday to go up to Oregon, Vaughn, and I'm taking Vaughn on the next big neighborhood trip.
Oh, Vaughn gets to travel.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. He's got good energy, and I'm looking forward to just kind of showing him what I do out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I needed to get this done, so I really appreciate you making the time
I
for me
appreciate
today.
being here.
I do.
Thank
I
you
can't
so
wait
much.
to see you again. I said, let's do this again.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If you got any questions on Logic, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if I can't answer it, my son surely can.
Okay.
But it's a good software.
So is there like a basic or it's just one Logic?
I'll text it to you.
Okay.
I'll send you the information.
Okay.
I think there's a tutorial. There's different things you can do. If you really want it, then you can look into that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I like it. Like I said, it's very it's user friendly.
What MacBook should I get? I know I need to get a MacBook.
I'll text that to you too.
Okay.
I'll text that to you too because my wife would answer that way better than I would.
Okay.
I'm kind of a Neanderthal when it comes to this stuff.
Okay.
I learned how to use it all, but I got other things going through my head.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
No, I appreciate you. I really do.
I appreciate you
and
too.
I enjoy this time.
Thank you.
And I got shirts for you.
I'm glad I was in the big neighborhood.
Yeah,
today.
right? Right? What's your handle on Instagram and all that? Let's tell everybody.
My handle is GeriFree.
3 E's.
Geri
That's
Freee.
free.
Free on the inside and out.
That's right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
What the tip? Neighborhood.